we ask you to welcome you all of us here this evening. We ask you to guide us and guide us to the council to do what you believe would be pleasing to you. Yes, this Christ name.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks everybody for coming. Now call to order the regular meeting of the Public Works Authority and hear a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Trustee Huber?
Yes.
Trustee Lowry?
Yes.
Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
Trustee Randolph?
Yes.
And Chairman.
Yes, action item, purchase pickup for the water department.
Don, would you address this, please?
Yeah, we had budgeted this year for a new pickup for the water department. It's gonna be a new 2016 four-wheel drive, single wheel, 1 ton to pull around the backpacker that we've got. And we've got a gooseneck trailer that we can haul the backhoe and skid steer and stuff like that with the street department. The price is $27,852.32, and we had 30 budgeted.
Any questions? Oh, sorry.
You're gonna keep your old one because it's got one of those tool beds on it.
Yeah, we're
That
just
you take around all your water leaks.
Yeah, this is just gonna be a workhorse.
Any questions or motion?
Motion to approve the purchase of the new pickup.
Second.
Trustee Huber?
Yes.
Trustee Randolph?
Yes.
Trustee Lowry?
Yes.
Trustee Martinez? And Chairman.
Yes. Trustee reports? City manager's report?
I've put in front of you something back in Kinsey Road. The city had the opportunity to participate in the painting of the rodeo ground. That did a really good job. We come up with half of it. The total cost was $7,000. And Max, there's a thank you note in here for each one of the councilmen and individuals that are part of the Roundup Club. Looks real nice. The people, the Roundup Club members, they do a really good job of keeping that place looking really neat. And they're the ones that after the flood, they jumped right in there and started cleaning their facility up, their buildings inside and out the ground. So I think it was money well spent, and it's city property, so we were just kind of helping ourselves. So they did a good job. If you get a chance, stop by and look at it.
It's pretty organized. Audience participation regarding public works. Motion to adjourn this portion of the meeting.
Second.
Trustee Lowry?
Yes.
Trustee Huber?
Yes.
Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
Trustee Randolph?
Yes.
And Chairman.
Yes. Regular meeting of the Clinton City Council. Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Councilman Huber?
Yes.
Councilman Lowry?
Yes.
Councilman Randolph?
Yes.
Councilman Martinez?
Yes.
And Mayor.
Yes. Action item A, appointment to the Planning and Zoning Board.
As you are aware, there is a spot on both boards. This is to be occupied by one individual, and Patch McComas has filled out an application for that spot.
Good. That'd be good. He's involved in a lot of stuff. Motion, anybody, or questions for Mark?
He has-
Can speak on behalf of Patch tonight?
He's agreed to serve.
Was that your recommendation, second?
Yes, sir, it is.
I move that he be appointed.
Second.
Councilman Randolph?
Yes.
Councilman Huber?
Yes.
Councilman Lowry?
Yes.
Councilman Martinez?
Yes.
And Mayor.
Yes. Action item B, commercial service agreement with Cable One.
Gene, would you address this, please?
Sure thing. This is just a change in the internet service, as you know, internet type of whether we want it or not. And with broadband, you just can't get an SLA to 99% uptime. So this is getting us a much more stable service, basically the benefit. It's a budgeted item, and this is just a contract. We did do a 5-year term to reduce the cost. And there's a non-appropriation clause in there. And I do get Cable One, and we also have an AT&T U-verse service as a backup. And this will replace both of those with the SLA. I mean, it's still gonna have possible downtime, but it's got money behind it, and they don't like that, so they don't wanna give us credit if we go with them.
But this is still a savings to the city.
Well, no, it's an increase in service fee, but it provides stability in our service for the internet, which PD uses it for OLEDs, fire station uses it for some of the towing that they do, the radio communications.
What's an SLA?
Service level agreement. It ties them to have certain performance, a 99.9% uptime. And I went over with their techs, and their fiber is much different than their broadband and their cable service, TV service, and it's pretty impressive. They've got guys locally that we can have a phone before things go down, where with the broadband, you're talking to several people before you get things resolved.
One other question, how much of an increase is it? Do you know?
We're paying roughly $450 a month, and this is right at $1,000. So that's $550. It's doubling. It's also increasing the bandwidth, but it's also a symmetrical service. So right now we get 50 meg down and 4 up. This is an 80 meg down and an 80 up. So we're able to host things, the services that we provide to the public, and also to our staff doing work throughout the city. They're able to access those things.
Budgeted item.
Correct.
Any other questions on the motion?
This will serve City Hall, Fire Department, Police Department, and Frisco, and eventually Acme.
Sound like we need it.
Yes.
I'd make a motion to get it this year.
I'll second the motion.
Councilman Rodoff?
Yes.
Councilman Lowry?
Yes.
Councilman Huglen?
Yes.
Councilman Martinez?
Yes.
And Mayor.
Yes. Action on receive resolution 854, trustee to Oklahoma Municipal Retirement Fund.
I think the city council had submitted my name. Good. And this is actually a ballot that goes out to all the cities. There's myself and a gentleman from Weatherford
Yes.
that are sitting for the seat.
Rounds? Oh, that.
No, George Williams.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to vote to we need to vote to who we vote for.
Yes.
So,
A motion to vote for your.
it should be obvious. Somebody wants to make the motion.
I make a motion that we vote for Mark Stiles on resolution 854.
Second, anybody?
Second.
Councilman Huglen?
Yes.
Councilman Rodoff?
Yes.
Councilman Lowry?
Yes.
Councilman Martinez?
Yes.
And Mayor.
Yes, action item D, request authorization for expenditure of funds for server and network upgrades.
And this is Gene Shows.
This is the same action item that was on the last agenda. I apologize that we had to table that, but it's just updates that we require budgeted items, and it's going to resolve quite a few issues we're going to have internally.
We went through this last meeting. Anybody have any questions? Any other questions or Regina or motion?
It's really, the quotes that come in is probably more like 42,000.
What was the difference in the agenda item? Because it was posted different last time.
Well, I put the action item up there,
Yeah.
and when we're still in the process of getting all specs out and getting the tech in there, and when it came back, it was higher, and I didn't know if an action item could be made to adjust that.
Yeah, the price was in the agenda item, and his bids came in higher than that, so we couldn't consider.
Right.
It was not to exceed.
Right.
Not to exceed.
Right.
What we budgeted for this?
52, and it's only coming in about 42.
That was what coming on. Motion or questions? Second, anybody?
I'll second the motion.
Thanks, Gene.
Councilman Martinez,
Yes.
Councilman Lowry,
Yes.
Councilman Rodoff,
Yes.
Councilman Huglen.
Yes.
And Mayor.
Yes. Action item B, agreement with AT&T.
This is expanded up. This one does save us money. This is just, nobody should even notice this, but in the back end, it's the service that AT&T provides us for our phones for City Hall, PD, and fire. And we'll be doing this will be the install for the service in the building, and we'll be testing with our system, and then eventually we'll migrate all our numbers over to it. But this one is it could be a significant savings, but we're still gonna do some redundancy with the fire department to make sure phone ring when they need it. So we'll still save approximately $200 a month moving to this service. And AT&T has already announced that they're doing away with the service that we currently have. So, I mean, it's 4 or 5 years down the road, but it's something we're gonna have to do eventually. Like I said, this one will save us money.
Questions on a motion?
How much will it save us, do you know?
Well, I mean, right now, the last bill I looked at was $1,500 for all the phones for the city. Looking at the way we're gonna implement it with the redundancy, it's gonna be about $1,200–1,300, so it's $200 savings. We could make it even more than that, but it's prudent to have redundancy at the fire station because AT&T has issues just like all of us.
Yeah.
I mean, we, enter into this agreement with AT&T.
Second, anybody?
I'll second the motion. Thank you.
Councilman Rodoff,
Yes.
Councilman Lowry,
Yes.
Councilman Huglen,
Yes.
Councilman Martinez,
Yes.
and Mayor.
Yes, action item F, authorization to purchase the grease mower.
Kelly?
Welcome, Kelly.
We read the memo, we try to rotate a grease mower out every 6 years, and we stretched the current one out to 9 years. So it's, the machine gets used 12 months out of the year. They depreciate faster than anything else on the golf course as far as equipment goes. It's budgeted item that we have, budget 36,142, and the state contract quote is underneath that figure.
We do the old one.
Well, in the past, we've been able to trade them in
Yeah.
and get some value out of it. But so many golf courses have gone to 3-year leasing of the fleets, so there's a glut of 3-year-old grease mowers on the market.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody wants a 9-year-old grease mower. So they only offered about $1,000 for the trade. So I would just keep it as a backup unit, and then if we need parts, we'll just start stripping it eventually.
Yeah, I did.
Anything wrong with it?
Well,
Is it functional?
it's functional now, but it's not as dependable as I'd like it to be. It's got over 2,000 hours on it. There's a lot of, we had to put a lot more parts in it in the last couple of years than any other machine we got. They get pretty expensive to maintain, the older they get. And the potential for a major hydraulic leak increases every year. We try to stay on top of it, replace as many hoses visually as possible, but that's always a danger on bad grass. It's bad enough on the new grass, but it's pretty devastating bad if it happens on. As they get older, they get less precise, harder keeping adjustment. We cut greens at less than 1/8 of an inch, all the way to 110 thousandths. The precision instruments. After they get that age, we put them on the tees and use it on that, where we're cut at 1/2 inch. So we can get a lot more life out of that. But there's a point where they just wear out.
Probably the most important mower at a golf course.
Yeah, the greens are the most important real estate on the property.
Motion or any other questions? And it's a budgeted item.
I make a motion to approve the purchase of the grease mower.
Second, anybody?
Second.
Councilman Huglen,
Yes.
Councilman Rodoff,
Yes.
Councilman Lowry,
Yes.
Councilman Martinez,
Yes.
and Mayor.
Yes, action item G, widening portion of Goldwater Champions.
This was tabled at the last council meeting, for this meeting of municipal show. As you know, Mr. Schumacher said the change of heart as far as desiring to proceed with this project. However, it is at the discretion of the council whether we go forward or not. So that's why it's on the agenda. It's up to you gentlemen where we go from here.
He doesn't want to do it anymore.
No.
No. Well,
I was out of town at the last meeting and haven't, we don't miss it. Did anyone approach him about splitting the deal?
yes, I did. He said no.
Said nothing.
Yes, sir. I asked him point blank. I think his answer was not really. I said, would you be interested in, and he replied, not really. Because, so yes.
Did he offer reasons as to why he doesn't want to do it anymore?
He felt like and I received this in an email, comment that going the route that we were going, which was a TIF amendment, would, he felt, double the cost of the project, I believe from $5,000 to $10,000 were his words. And he did not feel like that would be a wise expenditure of taxpayers' money.
Walt knows where we are, if he wants to come back and ask for it again.
Well, I'm personally disappointed by the way it's all gone down. I mean, I feel like we should have jumped on it the first time he came in here and asked. I mean, I really don't think there's anybody that's done as much for the city in the last few decades as him. And man, it seems like a small deal for what he's done and what he's asked of us.
The funding of the project is up to the council.
I've also heard from some constituents of mine who voiced opposition to the fact spending city funds on something that he designed and that was under his construction, and he not being a participant in the resolution and financial part of it. And I think there's other ways to look at it as well. But he has done a lot for the city of Clinton, there's no doubt. That wasn't something that was engineered or designed by our council.
He knows where we are, he wants to come back.
Let's put it on next meeting's agenda.
That's a motion, somebody got a second?
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Councilman Rodoff?
Yes.
Councilman Lowry?
Yes.
Councilman Martinez?
Yes.
Councilman Hewland?
Yes.
And Mayor.
Yes. Council reports?
It was my understanding we were going to have an executive session on this meeting for purpose of evaluating our city manager. I would make the motion that we put it on our next agenda for an executive session to evaluate the contract of our manager.
Can you make a motion that's not on the agenda?
Well, I mean, the charter says that the mayor or three councilmen can set the agenda can call for a special meeting.
Okay.
So I would interpret that to say that in lieu of asking for a special meeting,
Yeah.
if three of you want something, if you individually or three councilmen separately want something on the agenda, they can ask for it on the agenda, at least if it's on the agenda.
But that wouldn't be a motion in open session, that would just be contact.
Sure.
We just hang around afterwards and say, put it on there. Easy enough.
I mean, that's fine, it doesn't matter to me, but, you know, it's a little bit confusing on how you handle that.
You don't violate the open meeting.
Probably unconstitutional, because the Open Meeting Act
You got it.
wasn't in existence when that charter was written. And so if we want that on the next agenda, three of us, if we want it, we'll just tell Lisa after the meeting, it's fine.
Or just say it right now, it's in an open meeting.
Yeah,
I would like to see it on the agenda.
Put it on there. Sounds good. There's three.
Why
That's the man.
did we all think it was gonna be on there and then it didn't get on there?
There was the impression that it only took two councilmen or the mayor. And I talked to one councilman that had talked to the mayors. But as far as as receiving legal, direction to put it on there, I didn't get that. So that, and I've had that conversation with Don. Tell them this clarifies that. I'm like, Ryan, I have no intentions of violating the open meeting laws.
Good.
That gets everybody in trouble.
Done it.
We've got it done, so we'll have it on the next agenda, next council meeting.
It's been a while since we've had an executive session. This is a good thing.
Well, and it's an annual review. Mark is, you know, been here for a year, and it's typically that's what we have done. Councils have done in the past, is we have an executive session and evaluate the
That
performance.
contract talks about it.
Absolutely.
Oh, it does, does it?
August the 4th, I think, is the anniversary. Which will be the next meeting, I believe, isn't it? It's August the 14th.
You're really quick.
Yeah.
Sure it is.
Any other council reports? City manager,
Where are we at as far as our, water samples being evaluated for the EQ index? Have we had a sample taken yet?
Dawn is that report.
We are flushing the water that we chlorinated down the well. It's flushing tonight. We're gonna flush that through the night. Tomorrow morning, we're gonna catch the first sample, and then, let's see, this will be Wednesday, Thursday, we'll catch the second one.
So we'll know something by the middle of next week or middle
We'll
of
know
next
something by
month.
Friday. That's a 24-hour test, we'll know by Friday. Yeah.
We have to have 2 clean tests that we submit to DEQ, and then DEQ authorizes us to produce water out of that from municipal water system. That's the way it works.
And I do have one other thing off of water. Can we possibly do something with some of the weeds and that are growing up between the overlaid gutter sections of our streets? There are weeds that are coming up in the asphalt along Frisco behind Homeland, and there's some other areas. That's the place I was specifically looking today. But can we spray those or take a weed eater and knock those down? They look really, really bad. And I think there's some other areas all over town that kind of could use a little bit of that. I don't know whose responsibility it is department-wise, but we could maybe knock some of those down. They're in the street, looks.
Jason, it's a good problem, because we have right.
Yes.
We do have a mowing crew within the Parks Department that 40 hours a week, we've either got 4 or 5 minutes, that's all they do. Right now, the problem is just bigger than we are. We have picked out some areas that, I'll say we make them sacrifice areas that we're not gonna mow you, because we're gonna keep the parks up to snuff, because that's where the public has the most interaction. But we know we've got some areas that need mowed, but in order to keep the areas that receive the highest traffic pristine, we've had to let some of those go. Now, out at the soccer, baseball, and softball fields, we have one employee that's what she does. She keeps that area in shape, plus she mows some other parts of that park at the time. And, you know, from what I can tell, from being out there, does a fantastic job, because I think the soccer fields look pretty good. Not in the baseball and softball field, she keeps all. But we're after it, it's just bigger than we are, like Donna says, it's a great problem to have.
Any other council reports? City manager's report?
I was out at the soccer field the other day, and Lucas and the Clinton Soccer Association have organized a 3-on-3 tournament. If you haven't ever went, you need to go. The number of people involved are impressive, and the fact that we go from 5-year-old kids to guys that are probably too old to run around out there, but having a good time. I don't know how many games you've got going on at the same time.
There's 5 games at the same time. We start at 6:30 and the last game starts at 10:30.
And it fills the parking lot up by at least half, maybe more, concession stands going. I think the Soccer Association uses that to fund some things that you do for your team during the year.
Correct.
And of course, I see Shine and Arapahoe t-shirts out there. There were some simple t-shirts out there when I was there before. So, you know, that's something that brings people to town. And you know, we've got an arrangement with the Clinton Soccer Association now that they organize, they schedule. We mow, we water, we fertilize. They do an absolutely fantastic job of keeping that place going and bringing people to Clinton. Hope you wear that. Haven't done so far. And I think the Clinton Soccer Association, because of the authority they have, they've taken some ownership. And I think things are, especially on that end, I think things are running better than they have for some time. To be honest with you, our staff was busy. They didn't have time to do an adequate job of communicating and cooperating. Not that they didn't want to cooperate, but just getting things done for the Clinton Soccer Association. So I think the arrangement that we've got is a good one, certainly for us, and I hope it is for you guys.
Yeah.
One other thing, Kelly, you had a couples golf tournament this past weekend, and you had 63 or 64 teams, I assume, with 2 to the team?
Yes.
And Jason, I know you were out there, was it just Clinton participants, or?
There were families, participants from other communities. It started at 1 o'clock on Saturday. A meal was served at about 6:30 or so, somewhere in there, Saturday evening at the golf course, and then we started again at 8:30. And to my understanding, there were people staying in motels and visiting our local entertainment establishment east of town.
Now, it was this past Thursday or Friday that the rodeo grounds were surrounded by gooseneck drivers. I think they had kind of what we call a benefit barrel race to really, for the benefit of the rodeo day coming up, which is the 24th, 25th. But they really do pack quite a few people in there. I don't think we realize it just because of where they're at. They're kind of out of sight, out of mind, but there's a lot of things that take place out there. That's all I've done.
Audience participation. Motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Hewland?
Yes.
Councilman Rudolph?
Yes.
Councilman Lowry?
Yes.
Councilman Martinez?
Yes.
And